How you doing, Duff here? Just picked up another subpar cup of coffee. Nice city. You see my passenger is Sadie. Right, Sadie? Good girl. Cindy's at a cycling certification class this morning, or all day actually. So Sadie and I are on our way to Rural King, and the reason we're going to Rural King is I'm going to look at electric fence supplies. I don't think I've done any vlogging since we had an incident early in the week where a coyote jumped our 4-foot fence and killed and took off with one of our chickens. And the reason that we know it's a coyote is because we actually caught it in the footage of the security DVR that I have out in the coop. You can clearly see it running off with the chicken in its mouth. And there's a big pile of feathers back there, and it was very upsetting to Cindy and I, of course. We had an incident when we had our first set of chickens. Might be a couple years ago now at this point. We had 3 chickens, 3 Buff Orpington chickens in a urban chicken tractor. And the chicken tractor had doors on either end of it that flipped down that were secured with a simple spin latch. Just a little latch. You turned it one way and it kept the door closed. You turn it parallel to the ground and the door would open. And one night we had a raccoon that actually was smart enough to figure out how to open that door, and he went in there and he killed all 3 chickens. And when we found them the next morning, that was pretty horrible. All of our animals, including our chickens, we treat like pets. They're all named, we don't have them for meat or anything like that. So when those 3 chickens got killed, it was really, really tough for Cindy and I. With the coyote attack, it feels a little different because there's no aftermath other than the big pile of feathers. Although seeing it on film, the chicken being taken off was very, very depressing. And I feel guilty almost, like I should somehow be able to protect them at all times, which isn't very realistic. So anyways, coffee sucks. So anyways, my response has been to go out and buy a high-powered airsoft AK-47 gun. It's a toy gun, but it's if you go on YouTube and you search airsoft AK-47 stunts, there's a lot of videos of people being stupid and allowing themselves to be shot with one of these guns, and they leave a nasty well. It's pretty powerful. It's like almost 500 feet per second is the muzzle speed of the airsoft plastic BBs that come out of the thing. So it's gonna hurt if you get hit by it. And this model I got, it actually has a semi-automatic mode and a full automatic mode that fires super fast. I have a video on YouTube where I demonstrated shooting into a cardboard box, and it's crazy for a toy gun. It's crazy. It's battery powered, so you can fire for quite a while on a charge, and the magazine in the gun holds over 300 airsoft BBs, so you're ready to rock and roll for quite a while when you have that thing loaded up. So that was my initial knee-jerk reaction to the attack, even though the odds of us actually getting the backyard at the same time as a coyote being in there is slim. Actually, normally a coyote is a nocturnal predator. They don't hunt during daylight hours, and the attack happened at 7:15 in the morning, which is very surprising. And we have a guy at the side of the road asking for money. I have any. I don't know. Do I have any small bills? I do. Here you go, bud. Yep, thanks. Alright, no problem. Yep. It's okay, sweetie. So if Cindy saw that, she might be upset. I don't know. Who knows? She doesn't like when I give money to strangers, typically. Hi, Cindy. So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So the airsoft gun was step one in chicken defense. Additional chicken defense. Oh no, I know what I was saying. It was unusual for a coyote to attack during daylight hours. They're almost always nocturnal predators. And from what I read, usually the only time that happens is like if it's a mother that's just had cubs and is looking for food, then they'll expand into daytime hunting. So maybe that's the case, I don't know. So okay, so my additional defense was the airsoft gun, and then I went and I bought a 8-channel DVR to use out in the coop instead of the 4-channel DVR that I've had out there since we built that coop. The 4-channel DVR is able to give us video inside the coop, under the coop. The coop's up on the deck, and it shoots both angles from the run, opposing angles in the chicken run, but not really anything outside the coop. With the 8-channel DVR, I'm able to get all that plus the perimeter of the coop. So yesterday Cindy helped me install that. I have 2 cameras shooting out to the opposite corners of the backyard, and a camera facing the bar park and the large shed, and the 8th camera is shooting the front yard towards our neighbors, which is an area that I've never had a camera on before. And then in addition, I have the camera, or the DVR system in the house. There's one camera that shoots the backyard from the house side as well. So as far as surveillance goes, that should be pretty well covered. Cindy was saying that she doesn't, I guess she was kind of wishy-washy on me doing that because she felt like she doesn't really want, if another attack would happen, she doesn't want to necessarily see it. But my point is if something's getting in the backyard, I want to see how it's getting in and plan accordingly, and based on that. So with a new setup, I should be able to see pretty much anything that goes on in the yard related to the chickens. And my final step, at least near term, and it's not 100% that I'm going to do it, that's what I'm going to Rural King to look at, is to put a hot wire on the fence and electrify the fence basically. And the point of that is to deter predators, obviously. And my first reaction was that I guess I should just run a wire across the top of the fence. And that wouldn't necessarily be all that helpful for 2 reasons. A coyote can jump our fence, obviously. That's how he got out and in. And even if he jumped the fence and touched the wire, if he touches the wire while he is not touching ground, there's no shock applied. You have to be touching ground at the same time for an electric fence to do anything. So that plan was changed. After reading some more information, I saw a good way to deter predators like a coyote is you actually put the hot wire about a foot off the ground on the outside of the fence, sticking out a few inches. Because typically when a coyote is scoping out a fence or any kind of barrier for weakness, it kind of paces back and forth, along the fence line. And what I heard is when you have a hot wire in that position, a lot of times they'll hit it accidentally and they'll get zapped and they'll be like, ooh, they'll go elsewhere. So that might be what I wind up doing with the wire, and I might also put one up top as well, just in case if something got up on its hind legs and had its paws up high, it would get zapped in that scenario as well. So that may be the next step. And I'm surprised that the equipment to electrify a fence isn't all that expensive. It's just more the labor to do it and the logistics of how you're going to make it all work. So that might be a possibility. And if all this stuff proves to be fruitless, I would say that my final option would be that we just keep the chickens sequestered, basically. That they would become cooped up chickens. And if that was the case, I would probably look into expanding their chicken run to give them more space. They have a decent amount of space now, far more than the average chickens would have in the coop and the run. But I would look at expanding that further if we are not able to protect them from predators, because neither Cindy or I want our chickens to get picked off one by one. That would be very, very difficult. So anyways, yeah, that's the chicken update. I haven't been doing much vlogging lately for the reasons that I kind of explained before. It's time intensive. I'm not that good at it, and I'd just rather do them here and there as time allows in certain situations. Right? When you have dogs along to help. Good girl. Dogs along to help make things more interesting. That's it. Okay, so that's it. Chicken update. And if anything else comes up, I'll let you know. Duff out.